Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cutting right through all that abstract corporate jargon to look at management as what it really is, an everyday, totally practical toolkit. So, if you're looking for smoother workflows, way less stress, and clearer results in your daily operations, well, let's just get right into the methods you can start applying today. Okay, let's dive into this. To make these actionable tools easy to digest, we've grouped them chronologically into a four-part project lifecycle. We're going to start with planning for success, move into executing the work, hit managing the human element, and finally wrap up with measuring and reviewing progress. So, Part 1. Planning for success, the setup. Every successful workplace initiative has to begin with a really strong strategic foundation. Think about a massive, high-level goal, like a 5-year expansion plan. Honestly, that's just a dream until you actually break it down into yearly targets and then set specific KPIs and budgets for those targets. By turning these daunting, long-term goals into bite-sized, manageable actions, you're building a clear roadmap. And the immediate benefit for your team? Everyone knows exactly what direction they're heading in right from day one. It's like handing them a GPS. But let's be real for a second. Even with a fantastic roadmap in place, you are absolutely going to face some hurdles and tough choices pretty fast. Now, you might be wondering, when the pressure is on, how do we actually choose the right vendor? It's a super relatable question, right? It perfectly highlights the daily pressure we face when making complex project decisions where the stakes, and obviously the costs, are incredibly high.
Well, the absolute ultimate antidote for that kind of decision paralysis is the decision matrix. In short, it's a tool for choosing the best option using cold, hard facts. It literally turns a stressful late-night guessing game into a highly structured, objective process. Using a matrix guarantees transparent choices, which means you can look your stakeholders in the eye and explain exactly why a certain path was chosen. No guesswork involved.
Let's see how this actually plays out. By mapping out vital factors, things like cost, reliability, and compliance, side by side against your options, you get this perfectly objective snapshot of reality. Like if option A comes with a high cost but is highly reliable, while option B is cheap but, only moderately reliable, you aren't just sitting in a room arguing over personal opinions anymore. You're making a data-driven choice to select a vendor objectively. It's a total game changer. Now, of course, choosing the right vendor is really just mitigating one specific type of risk, and that brings us to broader risk management. The core idea here is simple but incredibly powerful. Identify problems before they happen to save time and money. Imagine you're leading a major product launch. A successful manager conducts a thorough risk assessment up front, using tools like a risk register and creates rock-solid backup plans. This is what saves you from those absolutely dreaded Friday afternoon disasters. By proactively anticipating what could go wrong, you build a safety net that protects your budget and your timeline. Moving right along to Part 2, executing the work, the hustle. Now that the plan is locked in, it's time to look at the actual engines of execution. Here, we're balancing two vital gears. On one side, managing your time. This means using software like Trello or Microsoft Project for tracking priorities and hitting those personal deadlines. On the flip side, we have managing the team, which is entirely about delegation. You'd use task boards for assigning the right task to the right person. So you might hand a heavy data analysis task to one specialized team member and give the regulatory compliance docs to someone else. Doing this ensures you're playing to individual strengths, saving a massive amount of time and carefully avoiding overloading any single person. Next up, Part 3. Managing the human element, friction and change. As we all know, real work is done by real human beings. And to successfully manage that human element, we absolutely need rock-solid communication. I'm talking about things like weekly status reports, team stand-ups, and project dashboards. Sharing updates clearly and regularly through these tools is literally the #1 preventative measure against costly and frustrating misunderstandings across your team. Still, even if you have the absolute best communication tools in place, human friction is totally inevitable. For instance, what happens when two analysts completely disagree on the data? It's a super realistic scenario, right? And it's one that can easily stall an entire project and honestly create a kind of toxic environment if it isn't handled properly. And this is exactly where conflict resolution comes to the rescue. By definition, this is the practice of solving disagreements early and fairly. A great manager doesn't just, sit back and let the analysts duke it out in the dark. No, they step in using meeting facilitation techniques and clear guidelines to mediate the dispute. Getting in there and resolving these issues early and impartially is exactly what keeps the project moving and the team unified. Another massive source of team friction is honestly just dealing with the new. Change management is all about helping people adapt to new systems. A perfect example from our source material is an ERP system rollout. When a company changes its entire software backbone, it naturally creates chaos and a lot of resistance. But by utilizing targeted training sessions and building robust support systems, a manager guarantees a much smoother transition and actively calms the human anxiety that pretty much always accompanies new tech. And hey, throughout all of this friction and change, we absolutely cannot forget about leadership and motivation. Sometimes the most effective management tool is incredibly simple. Just taking a moment to praise extra effort in a team meeting. Literally just recognizing hard work in front of peers dramatically boosts morale. Whether it's a quick, genuine shout out or utilizing formal recognition programs, these are absolutely vital leadership tools that encourage your people to just do their best work.
Finally, Part 4. Measuring and reviewing progress, the check-in. The absolute cornerstone of this final phase is performance management. This means effectively setting specific SMART goals and rigorously backing them up with structured quarterly reviews. By utilizing things like performance dashboards to track these metrics, managers foster this incredible workplace culture of personal accountability and ongoing professional growth.
Okay, let's do a really quick, rapid recap of the practical toolkit we've covered. We've got Trello or Asana for day-to-day task tracking, Microsoft Project for those overarching timelines, the Decision Matrix for making objective, data-driven choices, ERP systems for managing big organizational changes, and weekly reports and dashboards for maintaining vital communication. I highly encourage you to mentally note these actionable software options and methods for your own workflow. When we look at the data on tool utilization across all these management topics, a few heavy hitters clearly stand out. Trello dominates daily time management, dashboards are completely essential for team communication, and ERP systems anchor broader organizational alignment. As you can see, these are the most frequently used instruments across all the management concepts we've analyzed today.
So, what does this all mean? The crucial takeaway we're drawing from all of our source material today is encapsulated right here. Management is everyday practice, not just theory. It's not about memorizing some giant business textbook. It's about combining highly accessible, everyday tools with clear, deliberate methods. And when you do that, it directly leads to a universally smoother, way more efficient work experience for everyone involved.
Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Which tool will you use tomorrow to upgrade your work life? Seriously, whether it's building a simple decision matrix for your next big choice, setting up a task board for your team, or just making the effort to praise a coworker in your next meeting, the power to manage your work better is already right there in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I absolutely can't wait for you to put these strategies into practice.